Hi, welcome back to the Better Bosses blog. I'm Ken Pash, inventor of the Successful Ventures in Human Dynamics model all leaders can use to make better decisions. You know, we're talking about bosses and leadership, as we always do in this blog. I mean, that's not anything new. And the topic for this week, though, as we started it last week, was why do so many bosses suck? Yeah, we've all had bad bosses. But why do so many of them suck? We're likely to have them in the future. Can we do anything about it? Yeah, I sure hope so. Before we get started though, would you like me to merely lecture? Yeah, you remember those days in college? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, or wherever you were and you took classes. Yeah. Or would you rather we work together? Because isn't that what it is? If I just throw things out there and you don't feel comfortable responding, that's sort of just like a lecture, isn't it? Yeah, do you want that? Yeah, I don't want that. I want to work together. So let's work together. Let's see what we can do. And sharing your concerns can be a healthy thing too. But one of the things we got to do, especially in today's society, we got all this stuff going on. How about if we decide that we're going to agree to respect each other? So when we share things, we're going to do it civilly. You can disagree with anything I say. I may disagree with some things you say. That's just human nature. But let's do it civilly. Let's respect each other to get the most out of our time. Let's work together. Okay? So as I asked in last week's blog, have you ever had a bad boss? Yeah. What would have made that bad boss, or many that you've had, what would have made them better? If you struggle with this, think about what you didn't like. That should help lots with this. So let's look at a smattering of the inputs I do get. Because I do share these blogs, not just on my Better Bosses blog on my website, but I also share it on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and some other places. So I get a smattering of inputs from all over. So let's take a look at them. And I want to read them because I don't want to misquote anybody on what they might have said. So let's go take a look. One of the ones that I got, and it was kind of a common one, actually. But this is what somebody wrote, and very similar to some others. Said, the boss could have cared about me, and not in a hey baby kind of way. Yeah, I think a lot of people were saying that their bosses did show some attention to them, but it was not in the way that they were hoping for. They were hoping to have that boss help them and nurture them along. One of the other things they talked about was helping me climb my career ladder. Yeah, that's when you show that you care about somebody, is you're doing something like that somebody put in. I think that's a great one. The next thing that they talked about was poor communication. Yeah, we get that a lot, okay? And we got to do better on that. That's one of the things that comes up in almost every survey about what could be better in organizations. Better communication. We'll work on that a lot. Their approach to dealing with me and others. I think this came from a perspective that they didn't believe they were being respected. They thought that they were being disrespected or maybe ignored in some regards. Some of the things I put. I love what this person put. 2 words. Nice person. Yeah. Who wants to work with a jerk? I don't want to work with a jerk. Do you? No, heck no. That doesn't mean your boss can just be all lovey-dovey all the time. The boss has constraints too, and they have to get things done. It's not that we can just sit around and drink coffee and shoot the breeze all day, right? Yeah, okay. But some people are expecting their boss to be flexible. We have lives, and we have to work with our boss such that we get what's necessary done to a really good standard. But then hopefully the boss can show us some flexibility when things in life happen. I think that's a good one too. The next one, value my potential. Again, I think it goes back to being ignored and being treated almost as a commodity. Just, yeah, use them up, throw them away. Yeah, just people have potential. Everybody has potential. Their own, it's not the same, but they do. Give me ownership. Ownership? They want stock in the company? No, I don't think that's what they were talking about. I think what they meant was they wanted ownership in the processes for which they were responsible. That just seems to make sense, does it? I think it's an important item, and we'll go through that in some of the processes that we talked to. So if we look at this list, and it's a pretty good list, and if it boils down to just some of these things aren't rocket science. So why do so few bosses do well with these kind of things? Well, I think one of the things it comes down to is think about the coursework that you've had, wherever that is. Doesn't mean that you went to college or and even got an advanced degree or anything, but just think about your coursework. Did you even take a course called leadership? Because we do have many of those. The problem with so many of those courses is they're theoretically based. Now, I got to tell you, there's some really good leadership theories out there. I can't say that they didn't help me. I'm sure that they helped frame the way I do leadership and leader development now. But why do these not get us prepared? Well, because so many of these are objectively based. Right answer, wrong answer. Is that life? Is life all about right answer, wrong answer? The reality is no. And so a lot of subjectivity comes into these kind of things. So if you take a paper-based test, the book's paper, well, maybe not even that anymore, but if you take a test about your ability to spout back things that you learned about theories, does that prove your ability to lead? Well, how many of your bosses are in that same boat? They probably took many of those same courses. And it's one of the things that we talk about our differentiation between many of my competitors is a lot of places tell you what a good leader should be. And that's one of the things that frustrated me early on. They didn't tell me how to become a great leader. And that's what I want to work on. So as we work with this and we go through these processes, it's the prime reason I developed a successful ventures and human dynamics model that we talked about at the beginning. Stick with us. We'll shave decades off your leadership learning curve. And I have a question for next time. How many of you have had good bosses? Maybe some really good bosses. What did they do that made them good bosses? Post your comments. Wherever you're seeing this, I would hope you would do this on my website at the blog because that just makes it easier for me to consolidate. But you do whatever works best for you, and I'll figure it out. So post your comments. And next Thursday, that's what we'll do. We'll help you realize bosses don't have to suck. So go out there and do your best. And as I talk about, start by becoming the ace. Live with an abundance mentality. Concentrate on priorities and earnestly pursue your purpose with passion. But as I was preparing for today, I said, you know what? You can't just leave them with that because that would be just like your competitors, telling them what you should do and not how. Well, if you go to my website, www.keyvisions, key is a Japanese word. Some of you may be more familiar with the Chinese derivation called chi, but key, we'll talk about this as we go. Key is spelled K-I. So keyvisions.com, and you'll see right there on the front page, if you sign up, I'll give you a free webinar that helps you take those first steps so that you can become the ace. I hope you do so. Talk with you soon.